A mother calls her son who's lying late in bed on Sunday morning. Get up. It's time for church. I don't want to go, he replies. It's boring, irrelevant, and the people don't like me. Give me 3 good reasons why I should go. Well, the mom replies, because it's Sunday, it's 10 a.m., and you're the pastor. There's probably no easier target for comment, criticism, or bad jokes than the church. Depending on the comedian, the church is either an irrelevant old folks' home, a pit of gossipy, hypocritical vipers, or an ignorant, judgmental, anti-sex, anti-science clubhouse for weirdos. Sadly, sometimes the accusations are true. Both individual Christians and whole churches have been guilty of being these things, but we know that this isn't what we should be. We're going to be spending the next 7 weeks thinking together about how the gospel of Jesus Christ calls us to be different from the world around us, what it means for a church to be a distinctive community. And the place to start is to work out the answer to this fundamental question. Exactly what is the church? Is the church just a voluntary association or gathering of Christians? What makes your church different from, say, an exclusive social club, a concert audience, or the passengers on an airplane? At the most basic level, the church has similarities with all of those examples. Your typical local church involves people. These people regularly gather together. Songs are sung and words are used that everyone knows. Everyone seems to know exactly when to stand up and sit down. For some, church is something you passively attend, hoping for an entertaining and useful experience. Mix together good music, exciting teaching, a comfortable meeting space with people who look and act like you, and ta-da! You have what many think is the perfect recipe for a modern-day church. For others, the church is a relic of the past. It's an institution that's useful for when you want to baptize a child, get married, or get buried, but not much else. Some have jokingly called this four-wheel Christianity. You only show up for church in a stroller, a wedding car, or a hearse. Other than those handful of occasions, church is something best avoided if you can. In all these attitudes towards church, the primary actor in the relationship is us, you and me. They are views of church that treat it as a commodity to be consumed. We adopt a position of being a church consumer. We're happy when we can come to church when we choose and have its services delivered to us when and where we want them. What's most important is that the church is something that conforms itself to us, to my needs. The Bible's view of the church could not be further away. I'm sure you've been taught to understand that church is all about a gathering of people, not a building or an organization. But to say that church is just a community of Christians doesn't get close enough to the magnificent picture of church we find in the scriptures. Let's listen to how Jesus describes his followers. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Nor do people light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a stand, and it gives light to all in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven. Jesus tells us that Christians are people who stand out or shine in a dark world. And just think about that picture for a moment. It's pitch black. You can't see your hand in front of your face. All around you are people who are lost and don't know where to go. Horrible things are lurking in the dark to trip them up and harm them. But your little group is standing on a hilltop. You are ablaze with light. All around you, people turn to see a clear, bright light burning steadily without flickering. They start to walk towards you. Do you see how huge the difference is? Your local church is not a place you go to in order to get something nice and affirming for yourself. It's not an institution that's mostly irrelevant except for a handful of life moments. No, your church is a bright, shining community that is a burning light in a dark world. You're part of a community with a vital mission to give of itself for the benefit of a world that's trapped in spiritual gloom. We're to live in such a way that we give light to all in the house. We do the kind of good works that help people see something of what love really is in a selfish world, what joy really is in a troubled and anxious world, and what truth really is in a deceived world. This is not a passive, consumer-oriented view of the church. This view sets up the church as a distinct and active community that exists and is utterly different from the world. But being utterly different doesn't mean being completely separate. The church, as Jesus describes it, is not wholly separated from the world, going on its own merry way as if it were on a deserted island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. It is light in a dark world, but it is also light for our dark world. The church engages with the world by the brilliant light of her godly witness.